Have you ever witnessed a transformation so dramatic it leaves you questioning everything you once believed? Picture a figure who, for years, championed the beauty of every curve and every imperfection. A true icon of self-love and acceptance, suddenly shifting gears into an entirely different narrative. Today's story isn't just about a physical change, it's about a complete reinvention that challenges long-held values and flips expectations on their head. In the blink of an eye, the conversation shifted from celebrating diverse bodies to a debate over a message that now feels sharp, divisive, and even contradictory. As we peel back the layers of this metamorphosis, prepare to dive deep into a saga filled with shocking revelations, media frenzy, and the kind of controversy that leaves no one unscathed. It all began when our once celebrated icon started shedding pounds at an astonishing pace, a change that caught everyone off guard. For years, she had been the poster child for body positivity, urging millions to embrace their natural selves without judgment. But then, something shifted. Overnight, whispers began circulating about a mysterious method that promised rapid results. Rumors quickly spread about a cutting-edge, almost clinical approach to weight loss, something that wasn't just about dieting or relentless workouts, but hinted at a pharmaceutical shortcut. As before and after images flooded social media, fans marveled at the speed of her transformation, while skeptics wondered if the changes were entirely natural or the result of an experimental aid. Each new photo and every update painted a picture of a journey that wasn't just about fitness. It was about reinvention at a pace that bordered on the unbelievable. And as the transformation accelerated, it became clear that this was more than just a personal evolution. It was the beginning of a rebranding that would soon shock her most loyal followers. But that wasn't the whole story. As news of this astonishing change broke out, the reaction from the public and the media was immediate and explosive. Social media platforms erupted into a whirlwind of debates where supporters cheered on the impressive transformation while critics questioned the authenticity behind every pound lost. Traditional news outlets, ever hungry for controversy, pounced on the story with sensational headlines and heated panel discussions. Every tweet, every post, and every comment seemed to echo the same mix of admiration and suspicion. How could someone so long associated with self-love now seem to distance herself from that very message? The stark contrast between the past and the present ignited conversations that spanned from viral memes to in-depth opinion pieces. What was once a beacon of body acceptance had suddenly become a lightning rod for controversy, and the media narrative only fueled the fire. As viewers and readers debated the merits and motives behind this rapid transformation, it was evident that the story was evolving into a cultural phenomenon, one that was as much about personal reinvention as it was about the expectations we place on public figures. And just when the dust seemed to settle, another twist was waiting to upend the narrative. In a twist that left many scratching their heads, the message that had once defined her public persona began to shift in a startlingly ironic direction. For years, she had preached that every body was beautiful, that self-love was the ultimate form of empowerment. Now, as she embraced a leaner silhouette, her rhetoric took on an edge that many found unexpectedly harsh. Gone were the days of celebrating every size. Instead, her words started to mirror a sentiment that was sharply critical of the very image she once promoted. The irony was palpable. How could someone who had long championed diversity suddenly appear to reject the beauty of larger bodies? This reversal wasn't just a change in appearance. It was a redefinition of her identity. Fans felt betrayed, and critics were quick to label the shift as a repudiation of her former ideals. The transformation, it seemed, wasn't limited to her physical appearance alone. It extended deep into the narrative she shared with the world, a narrative that now walked a fine line between personal evolution and public contradiction. And as the debate raged on, the question loomed large. Was this new stance a genuine evolution or a calculated attempt to redefine her image for a new era? The controversy reached new heights when the media began to spotlight moments that captured the stark change in her persona. A particularly biting moment came when a well-known animated series, famous for its satirical take on celebrity culture, featured a caricature that mirrored her transformation. The episode wasn't just a light-hearted jab. It was a searing commentary on the rapid metamorphosis that had taken place. In one scene, a character delivered a line so cutting, it resonated with the public sentiment, encapsulating the mix of shock and disillusionment felt by many. The portrayal was both humorous and cruel, highlighting the irony of a woman who once celebrated everybody now seeming to denounce a part of herself she once embraced. Public appearances, interviews, and even social media posts became fodder for endless analysis and commentary. Every public statement was scrutinized for hidden meanings, every gesture interpreted as a subtle nod to her past or a warning of what was to come. Amidst the laughter and the criticism, one thing was unmistakable. The media had turned her transformation into a full-blown spectacle, and the spotlight showed every nuance of her evolving image in excruciating detail. But as the cameras flashed and the pundits dissected every move, another layer of the story was quietly emerging from behind closed doors. Beneath the glitz and the public drama, a darker narrative began to surface, a story whispered about in private meetings and hinted at by former insiders. Reports emerged from those who had once worked closely with her, suggesting that the transformation was not solely a personal journey but part of a larger, more calculated rebranding effort. Former team members and collaborators hinted at a tense atmosphere behind the scenes, a place where ideas clashed and loyalties were tested. Allegations of internal conflict, broken promises, and even legal battles began to circulate, painting a picture of an environment that was anything but harmonious. Some insiders claimed that the pressure to change was so intense that it forced her to make choices that went against her previous ethos. There were murmurs of disputes over creative direction, of strategies devised in secret meetings that left little room for dissent. Lawsuits and legal threats, though sometimes quickly dismissed, added an air of legitimacy to the rumors, suggesting that the transformation was wrapped in more controversy than the public knew. These revelations fueled further speculation. Was this rapid change the result of a genuine personal awakening? Or was it a meticulously orchestrated move designed to capture a new market and reinvent a tired image? With every new allegation, the lines between personal growth and strategic rebranding became increasingly blurred, leaving fans and critics alike to grapple with the truth hidden behind the headlines. In the midst of mounting controversy and swirling rumors, the star made a bold, calculated move to redefine her public image. No longer content with the identity that had once made her a household name, she began to craft a new narrative, one that was raw, unapologetic, and distinctly different from her past. Her social media feeds transformed overnight, filled with images and messages that exuded a newfound confidence and a stark departure from her earlier, more inclusive messaging. Every post, every interview was a deliberate step towards establishing a persona that was both modern and fiercely individualistic. It was clear that the rebranding wasn't just about a slimmer figure, it was a complete overhaul of her public identity. Critics argued that the change was too abrupt, too jarring, a far cry from the gradual evolution her fans had come to love. Supporters, on the other hand, saw it as a bold reimagining, a necessary step for someone who had grown tired of the constraints of a bygone era. As she navigated this new landscape, her language sharpened and her tone became more direct, leaving little doubt that she was no longer the same person who had once preached unconditional self-love. Instead, she now embraced a more nuanced, perhaps even contentious perspective, one that recognized the complexity of change in a world that demands constant reinvention. With every public appearance, it became evident that her transformation was not just skin-deep, but a profound reinvention of who she wanted to be in the eyes of the world. Now, as we stand at the crossroads of this unfolding saga, one question remains at the forefront. What is the true cost of transformation? Is it possible to completely reinvent oneself without losing the core message that once inspired millions? For some, this metamorphosis represents the natural evolution of a complex individual, an embrace of new ideas, new challenges, and a new vision for the future. For others, it is a cautionary tale of how the pressures of fame, public expectation, and the relentless pursuit of reinvention can lead to a betrayal of one's original values. The dramatic change in image, the harsh reversal of a long-held message, and the controversies that continue to swirl around her, every move compel us to reflect on the nature of identity in today's fast-paced, ever-changing world. In an era where every transformation is dissected, debated, and broadcast for all to see, the line between authenticity and reinvention becomes perilously thin. As the debate rages on across social media platforms, in boardrooms, and in living rooms around the world, one thing is undeniably clear. Change, no matter how necessary or even inspiring it might seem, always comes at a price. So, where do you stand? Has this evolution unlocked a new chapter of empowerment and self-discovery, or has it simply traded one form of idealism for another? Your thoughts are as vital as they are varied, and the conversation is just beginning. Share your perspective, challenge the narrative, and join in the dialogue about what it truly means to reinvent oneself in a world that never stops watching.